Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders. I'm Oscar Carboni, and I've been, messing with markets trading since I'm an 18-year-old down on the exchanges in Manhattan and in Chicago. And, here's what I can say. Well, two things I'll say to you right away. One, I promise I won't sell you anything today. I promise. You won't hear a word about buying anything from me. Two, I do not have a pretty PowerPoint for you guys, but here's what I have for you traders. I am an expert at calling markets. In fact, I have to say, when I first started Traders Corner, I said to them, listen, you don't know who I am. I am the best of the best of the best out there from Wall Street from reading charts. I can read charts better than anyone. And I have to say, Traders Corner said, well, Oscar, that's a little bit of a, it's a little grandiose. I don't know about that. Let me ask you, since I've been doing these webinars for you, what do you think about that statement? I know you guys at Traders Corner must recognize it. So, I said to them, I promise I'll do a good job. And since then, they've been inviting me, and there's a reason for that. What I can do with the chart is something I've never seen anyone else do in my entire 43 years. I can take the news from the charts and extrapolate that and turn it into where to get in, where to get out, and where to place your stop, which goes in first if you get something wrong. So I've been showing people since the 1980s that the news is in the charts first. You can get it all from the charts. You do not have to be following fundamentals and wait for a report to come out. It's all based on the geometry that's already on those charts. I'm going to show you just how accurate that geometry can be. I will say I have nothing to sell you, but I can offer you this. If you like what you see by the end of this presentation, you can go to livewithoscar.com and hang out with me. There are no credit cards required. There is no price for this. You would simply click register. You put in a little bit of information. It shoots off an email, which will go to your spam. Unspam it. Come back. The next thing that happens is you're logged in. You go to Oscar's chat room, and you will be able to do something like people around the world do with me every day, and that is hang out in my live trading room. In fact, I am there right now waving to you while I'm doing this presentation. I am still live in my trading room. It's absolutely free. Dano at Live with Oscar is in there now. It will cost you nothing to hang out with me. If you like what you see during this presentation, make sure you come hang out with me. So, after reviewing emails, comments, you name it, looking through my YouTube, gathering up the information I can get from the last few days, once again, like the last webinar I did, the most asked question of me was, Oscar, in your webinar, can you tell us, will we still make E-mini S&P 7,512 year-end call that the Omni posted in the beginning of this year? And will Jerome Powell lower rates in December? That is the news that's out right now. And we are going to prove that the news is in the charts and that Powell will be rates and that there's a very strong chance that 75.12 is on the docket. I hope many of you make some sound money-making positions, possibly, or at least decisions based on this presentation. Remember, you can find me in my free live trading room. It's open to the public for all. Let's go on a hunt and see for ourselves exactly what we've got going on. Will Jerome Powell lower rates? Being forced to, but he's doing it. Well, I shouldn't say forced to. We'll talk about that at another time. And will we make our call? So right off the bat, I want to show you some fantastic charts that should help us get there. This is the Russell 2000 daily bar chart. The Russell 2000 has been leading the indices for the last 3 weeks down since Powell came out and said, no need to repeat what he said because we don't want the markets to ever drop again. But Powell came out and he Powellized the markets by saying something that he shouldn't have said. And the markets immediately reacted and Russell was the leader. And what got scary was Russell got below my Omni Trading Academy's proprietary moving average, got below OTAPMA. And I went, whoa, what is going on? But it got below OTAPMA, grabbed its footing, got back above, is now above this channel, which I'll darken in for you, and you'll see where we're going with this. Check this out, and let's give it a color. It's above the channel. It broke out, it held, got a above OTAPMA, broke out above the channel. New highs are coming our way. It's now leading the parade back up. But there are other charts that we're going to have to look at, of course, to see exactly where we should go and why. But so far, the Omni Trading Academy's proprietary moving average has been instrumental in showing us what's going to happen for the end of the year. So there's your Russell 2000. The next chart I'd like to share with you is your NASDAQ chart. Your NASDAQ daily bar did the same thing, right? Broke below OTAPMA for 2 days only, 1, 2. Got right back above and is now following Russell above this channel. And believe me, we wanted to see that. Russell leading the way, is above the channel. As of today, this is live data. Now, so is NASDAQ. Fantastic, right? Because we need to get to 75.12 in the next 5 weeks. So far, so good. And traders, I put out YouTube videos just about every night. I've got 2,999 videos out. My 3,000th will be published on Friday or Saturday morning. In those videos, I explain on a Monday, or let's go to a Sunday afternoon, I explain what's going to happen in the markets Sunday night through Monday and how you can profit and or hopefully not lose from it. Then I put out another video on Monday for Tuesday, and we do this every day since 2006. There are people all over the world that will not even get into a position unless they've seen my video. I kid you not, or at least have come to the site to speak to me, because after all these years of me showing this to people, there's a lot of them out there that recognize that charting is the best roadmap. There is nothing better than the roadmap you're looking at now to figuring out future pricing. I promise you the chart is better than anyone. It is better than calling the CEO of Goldman Sachs to ask him a question, because I'll show you when we get to a certain chart that even the CEOs of Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, that lunatic Kramer, and everybody else from Wall Street that chatters were completely wrong on TV, chattering about wrong in April this year when the tariffs came out. And we'll get to that, and you'll understand why charts are so much smarter than humans, and certainly calling someone for information. The charts always tell you what's coming next. And of course, I've been appraising and advising my traders every day throughout this year and every year for the past 40 what to do next. So NASDAQ certainly showing us that Russell isn't kidding around. S&P E-mini, look at this guy. The S&P has now not only held OTAPMA and broke out, but it is also, as of today, just starting to pierce above this channel. And this channel shows up on every indices chart, and I promise you this. I grew up on Wall Street since I'm 18. They're looking at that channel. I promise. It's called geometry. They see it. They know we're getting above it. The buys are going to come in like crazy. Wall Street watches this stuff. It's called simple geometry. So OTAPMA to the rescue. Look what happens here. Forget the channel. We get under OTAPMA, right back up. And now that we are above the channel, we are aiming for new highs for the year. But we haven't seen enough proof to know this for sure. So we'll continue looking at other charts. Let's see what else fits this really well. Look at the Dow, the YM. It has taken the lead from the Russ. Why? Well, if we go back to Russell, look. Russell was leading all the way up until 2 days ago. Now there's a new leader, and any of you managers that understand how to follow the smart money will understand why I follow the leaders. Russell was leading the parade as it jumped out above OTAPMA day 1, day 2, day 3, and got above the channel. It was leading the parade, and it definitely led the parade down. But look at what's happening now. The stock market, the Dow itself, is taking charge. It's taking the lead. How do we know that? Because we are 1, 2, 3, 4 days above OTAPMA right now. 4. It is the only indice that's out above the average for 4 days. And if you had to draw that wacky channel, look at when it got out of that channel. Channel's different, but still exists, and look where we are now. I promise you, Wall Street's got their eyes on this. They use simplistic analysis They do not get complicated. There are complicated quants. There are complicated funds out there. There are all sorts of complicated things they put together, algorithms. But I promise you, when they're doing analysis, put those algorithms off to the side. They're using simple geometry to see what comes next, as you are learning from me. So we are above the channel. We're back in this major channel, which you didn't even notice on all the other charts I just showed you, but they're all there as well. We're now back inside this major channel. And if you want to know if it's major or not, just look at the highs and lows that has held. Major channel, we get back above OTAPMA, back in that channel. My Omni, Oscar's market navigational indicator, is bright green. But here's what I'll tell you. A lot of traders out there, last Thursday, Friday, even over the weekend, we're talking about so much downside. On Saturday into Sunday, I put out all sorts of messages all over social networking and then did a video. You know what that video said? This week, get long everything. You can get long metals, you can get long indices, which S&P, NASDAQ, Rush, you name it. You can get long crypto. We put those messages out on Sunday because the Omni flip. Look at what has happened since Sunday. And it's everywhere I just mentioned to you. The Omni just rocks. Oscar's market navigational indicator, it just rocks. Ask any of the thousands of Omniacs that hang out with me. It's telling us way more upside coming. So the YM is now beginning to take the lead away from Russell, which is a very good thing because the YM is a representation of the Dow. And whether it's the leader or not at this moment in time, the Dow, you speak to anyone around the planet and they think our stock market is the Dow. So there's a lot of mentality built into watching that Dow, especially if you're not from this country. So the Dow is starting to take the lead, and that's a very interesting thing we're starting to see. What else? Here's something even more amazing. Look at this. Now, in this chart, there's a couple of Omni lessons that I rarely teach unless you're at OmniCamp, but we're here, and let's do them. Dow Transportation Average. Lesson 1, the transportation average has been the leader since the market was created. If you do not believe me, ask Charles Dow. The transportation average is the overall leader of all indexes. Charles Dow has that in his theory. I have researched it for 43 out of my 43 years, and I promise it's absolute. Lesson 1, when I talk about in OmniCamp, one of the lessons is you need to know that the transportation average is absolutely unequivocally the leader of our indices. If you're trading Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, any of that, the transportation average is the leader. However, not always. You need to be watching who's doing the rotation, where the smart money's going. It all comes off the chart, by the way. I don't use any fundamentals for that at all. I can see it in the chart. Now, the transportation average has always been the leader. If any of you are listening, think to yourselves, why? Could you answer the question why to yourselves? Because I'll answer it for you. Why is the transportation average of all things the leader of our markets? Well, if you own a factory, if you own a store, if you create a product, if you do anything at all with a physical product, you need to get raw materials shipped to your factory to build it. Then you need to take that product that you built, widget, you name it, you need to ship it to a warehouse or ship it to a distribution center, or Amazon's going to get a message that some customer wants it and it's going to get shipped to that customer. So when you're building inventory and you're not selling, the factory is building with inventory and not a lot of transportation. The transportation average starts to go down. It tells us we're not doing so much business. We're going to start to move down. When business activity picks up and you start getting orders for next week, next month, next year, we need 8,000 widgets, we need 7,000 widgets, things start moving rapidly. Supplies go to the factory builds, they move them out. The transportation average knows, it always knows. It is the leader, not every day, but is abstract overall the leader of US indices. And if you can follow that properly, you will do much better. Lesson 1 that you would learn if you were at OmniCamp. Lesson 2, you can pick up just about any book ever written from when I started. The stuff I wrote, the stuff I read was written long before I started. There was stuff written when I started. There was stuff written after I started. You can take any one of those books and you open it up to a section that says triple top, and what it'll tell you is the triple top means the top of the market is in, and now get ready for a bear market. That's everywhere. That's what they think. Authors of books, CEOs of trading companies, I promise you, they are absolutely incorrect. Another lesson I teach at OmniCamp, any of my Omni campers have seen this for themselves. The Oscarism version of a triple top is different. What happens to the Oscarism version of a triple top is you go top 1, top 2, top 3, a brief dip, and then new highs. Here's your brief dip, and here's your new high. It already happened. I had this set up before today's ball was there. There wasn't even a new high. I was going to get to show it to you before it got there, but it got there today. That is an Oscarism. That's the way this works. Why would I know better than so many of the books written? Because I'll have to tell you right now, many of the people who wrote books did not stand in the damn trading pit and trade 500 to 1,000 times a day, every day of their lives for 35 years. And here's what you can do when you do that. You can take this rule and go, hey, let me see if this rule works in trading. I can do that 500, 1,000, 1,500 times in week 1 of testing in real time with real money. And then I could take the rule and scratch it off or put it on my list of rules that work. That's the guy that you're learning from. I have used my own money to test this crap out since the 80s. This Omni system, the Oscars Market Navigational Indicator, has been working since 1986. It has made the most tremendous calls anyone has ever seen. If you're following me, if you follow my videos, I am not just shocked, I don't even know how to understand how accurate it's been for the course of 40 years. I've never seen anything last more than 5 years in my entire 43, 44 years of trading. I've never seen a program last more than 5 years. By the time you build it and test it and put money in it, you're 3 years deep, you run it for 2 years, it stops working because the market changes complexion and the system sort of blows up. I don't know anyone that's got a system longer than 5 years. This Omni has been working with us since the 80s. Why? We don't tweak parameters, we don't change anything, and we don't use anything fancy. We are simple. We bring simplistic analysis to a very complicated industry, and that helps us see clearly. When you take a complicated system into a complicated industry like trading, you are overcomplicating things, you are going to lose your money. When you get simple and understand geometry, you will do so much better. So the transportation average is leading, and if that's the case, we've already made new highs, which tells us that S&P is going to make a new high, that NASDAQ is going to make a new high, and the Russell is going to make a new high, and we are going to get to 75.12, but we'll see what happens. Let's keep moving along. We need more proof, though. So what else would show us? Does anybody know how to look at 30-year T-bonds? Anybody out there understand what happens with 30-year T-bonds? These are your 30-year T-bond daily bars. When bonds are going down, like in the past, when bonds were going down, interest rates go up automatically. Automatically, Jerome Powell doesn't have to say a word. He doesn't even have to convene a meeting. Here's how this works. Interest rates, let's call this a seesaw, a teeter-totter. It's out in the park. You've got bond futures on one side. You've got interest rates on the other. When bond futures go up, it automatically lowers interest rates, automatically, without the Fed saying a word. This is how our economy works. When bonds go higher, rates go lower, automatically, without the Fed saying a word. Of course, if bonds went lower, rates would go higher, automatically, without the Fed saying a word. Well, the case we're in right now is bonds are going higher, and we are 12, 13 days away from a Fed meeting. That tells me while bonds go higher, interest rates go lower. That tells us that Powell will lower rates. The market is telling us that. Why? Because the market is going higher. It's holding fantastic averages and moving higher. If it's going higher, it's indicating to us the fundamental, which always comes out in the charts first. The fundamental is Jerome Powell will lower rates at the next meeting. The bonds are telling you. The charts are telling you that. Absolute. That's what they're screaming right now. And I want to make sure that you see that for yourself. So let's go look at another chart. Let's see. I think I've got this guy waiting for us. Yes. All right. Will we reach 75.12? The answer is a resounding yes. We should get there. Why? Well, looking at this weekly chart, the weekly chart had one falter. When? During tariffs. That was about it. It's the only time we got below this average. It was the only time there was any downside. As soon as we got back in the saddle, the rally began. We did a test 1 week ago, held. We are off to the races. We are going for new highs. That is happening. If you're short, you're wrong. This is happening before your eyes. Be careful. So what else is out there? Oh yes, check this out, kids. Oh, I'm gonna love looking at this. Look at the Omni trading token. I love you guys, you Omniacs, you fans from Pump. Look what you've done. So we had a bull flag, which I clearly painted for everybody before the breakout, which ran into a breakout right there. Boom. Rallied up, created a channel, another breakout, and we are making fantastic highs right now. That is all of you out there, Omniacs. Yes, I'm there to support you. You know that. I'm always there to support you, but that is you. In fact, with that in mind, if you are not long the Omni token yet, you're not paying attention. There's a worldwide Omni community. I am at the top of that community. I will not sell anything. I just buy. I'm helping you guys. We're taking this higher slowly and organically. We've created a liquidity pool. We've got all sorts of websites that we're building out right now specifically for this coin. An ebook is about to be dropped for this coin. We are going to go on a huge campaign. And before we even get there, look at all the Omniacs that are filing in. Omniacs, continue to do what you're doing. Hop in. I did mention about 5 days ago that my Omni token is priced in Solana. Every time you buy an Omni token, you have bought Solana for it first. It is not a shit coin created by nothing. Every dime in that coin is real money, bought cash, Solana purchase with cash, then you can buy my Omni. Here's what I told people about 5 days ago. I said, listen, crypto has had a bit of a drop for the last week and my Omni token maintained. Solana dropped dramatically. Now, guess what? We've got a cushion between Solana and my token. As soon as Solana goes up, my token has to go up inherently, like the bonds and interest rates. Look what's happened in the last 5 days, right before your eyes. Are we not good at analysis? That's technical analysis that has nothing to do with anything more than straightforward technical analysis. It even works in crypto, which of course you will see more of. Let's go here now. Check this chart out. Now let's move to the metals fans, because the Omni did tell us crypto you could purchase, indices you could purchase, don't sell the metals anymore. That was 2 days ago. Now we've got another picture. So let me show you gold. Daily bar in gold. I'm in Australia a couple of weeks ago hosting an Omni camp, and I'm listening to stuff coming across the wire, and what I hear is some of the biggest guys on the internet and some of the biggest owners of companies out there that trade came out and said the top is in silver and gold when we were here. And I'm in Australia and I do my analysis, and I immediately, after doing my analysis, I do a video and said, hold on, why would people come out right now and call the top in gold? I promise you, technically it's not there. If you all do me a favor and don't listen to those guys, they have bigger crowds than me, they have bigger reputations than me, but I promise you they're not as good as analysis as me. Don't listen to them right here. They're wrong. Uncle Oscar, I promise you, Uncle Oscar will tell you when the top comes in. Just wait for my top call. And this is what happens next. They're wrong, stupidly wrong. It explodes and we come out with the Omni top call right here, right there. What more could anybody ask? Right there, video goes out, live as it happens. We're here now. Now you can call top. We've identified top. Those crazies that were calling top didn't understand how to look at a chart properly. So I call the top and it cracks. Boom. Then It rallies back up and I make a second short call and it cracks again. Can you ask for more? I'll show you why that second short call was made in a moment. Now Omni's gone bullish. Now we're looking for more upside again, especially if we get past that high. You get past that high, it will go gangbusters. What else is there for us to look at? Check this out. When we identified the top in gold, we also called for a left shoulder head, right shoulder formation. We only had the left shoulder and the head. We didn't have the right shoulder yet, but we said we have the left shoulder and the head, the top's in. Well, the market did drop into a right shoulder, went up and did something called the Oscarism, another Oscarism, by the way, the failed head test. You can pick up 100 books about head and shoulders. They're just written incorrectly. They tell you there's a neckline that doesn't even exist. There's no such thing on a head and shoulders. It's not a head and shoulders. In any event, we won't go there. So the stuff that's written in books is wrong. I promise I'll show you how to handle a head and shoulders. When you come out of the bottom of the right shoulder, it will rally up and it will try to get somewhere between the middle to the top of the head. If it fails, it is an Oscarism called the failed head test, and down you will go. So I do this exact exercise live on camera, and what does it do? Boom, as we expected. That is using technical analysis, not listening to crazies who run out there and make a call because they want their reputation to be enhanced a little by making the call before it happens. I wait for the chart to tell me. I would never make a call based on what I think. I am a crazy human like the rest of us. How could I know? But the charts know much, much better. Look at silver. Look at the silver chart. Since the double top, we have broken down, reached the spot where Omni then went green, and it's been taking back off since Omni went green right here. And it's a green arrow since. Omni has just been all over these metals. By the way, I grew up in the metals pits. When I started at 18 years old, I was in the silver and gold pits. I am so attached to silver and gold that from when I was a kid till this day, I keep a silver and gold, a Krugerrand, and a silver dollar in my pocket because I've had them since I was a gold and silver trader. And an interesting thing, when I put this in my pocket, it was worth $275. It's called Krugerrand. When I put this in my pocket, it was worth $17. 43 years later, this is worth $4,000. This barely got past the 20s. Silver's been such a dog. I get that it's up there 50 now, but it's such a dog compared to gold. It's been that way its entire life. But I've always kept those coins on me. Hey, wherever I go, I always got a few grand in my pocket, right? So that's silver. Now let's go look at something else interesting. Want to see what else the Omni was capable of doing? When Bitcoin came out, traders said, well, Oscar, you're good with market. And I said, what is the difference? Bitcoin is another sector. It means nothing more to me than another new market to trade, except for I get to watch the chart from the second it was born. There are no tick data before me watching, right? It came out while I was a full-fledged trader. And guess what I got to do? We were trading at $9,000 in Bitcoin, and I gave out a target for 21,000, put it on my whiteboard, which I do in every year. I put a target on my whiteboard. It stays on my whiteboard without getting erased for the entire year. I never take it off the whiteboard. If we don't hit the target, we'll discuss it. It'll be removed. That hasn't happened. We hit the target. So on my whiteboard, I put a $21,000 target on Bitcoin. We hit the target. Next target I put was a $35,000 target on Bitcoin. We hit the target. Next, I put an $85,000 target on Bitcoin. We hit the target. Not only do we hit the targets, but I give a time frame when we'll get there. Then I gave out 94.2, we hit. I gave out 102, we hit those both here and here. The beginning of last year, I gave out a 2-year target. No, it was this year. I gave out a target and I said Bitcoin will hit 126 this year. This is our target. Not only did it get above my 121, which was an interim target that we offered, it hit 126, and look what happened since. Now, is that not magical? Who can do that? I gave out that target 2 years ago, a year ago, this year, and it's still sitting on my whiteboard right now, just like my year-end target for 75.12. That was given out when the market was trading at 48.32 and crashing. And so far, it has been proven to be right. But that's not the only thing about Bitcoin. That's just to show you that Bitcoin works well with charts. Let me show you what's going on with Bitcoin closer, top day. Bitcoin had the same fate as gold, had big head and shoulders, then slid off into a channel, and we called for 80,200, and guess what we hit? 80,400 right there at the low, right here, boom. And now Omni's gone bullish. And it's a wonderful thing. Why? Because I was doing videos every night and telling traders, here's what you should be doing. You should be buying it here and buying it here. And if it breaks out, buy it again there. What did I do? I bought it here, I bought it here, and I bought it again there. Because why not? It's what the market's telling, it's what the charts are telling us to do. So that's what Bitcoin looks like. And then there's something else I'd like to show you, which is really interesting. A little gift almost. Check this out. Let's go here. Look at Tesla. Look at this. This is almost psychotic. Look at the way Tesla and my Omni, the OTAPMA. I mean, what were they meant for one another? Are they married? What goes on here? Look at this. This is almost a gift to you traders. If you're trading Tesla and you don't understand where you should get in, when it makes dips, just look at that picture. You could not have lost money for an entire year almost using this. It works really, really well. And I promise you, Wall Street's paying attention to stuff like that. So we're going to go back here for a moment. Let's just take a look at this. Remember that we should get to 75.12. We're starting to blast off now in the E-mini S&P, but there's an anatomy behind why we should get there. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of it. Traders, here's a chart, a very interesting chart, because none of this existed on the chart. From the day Powell stopped lowering rates, the last time he said he wasn't going to lower rates anymore, we were in February of this year. The market started to go down. This is a weekly chart. Went down 1 week, went down a second week, and I did something. I came out with a projection. And I said, we have a projected target now. Being that Powell stopped lowering rates, we're going to drop. We're going to get down somewhere between 49.75 and 47.75 where we should get in. The market drops. Why? Because Trump comes out with tariffs. That made things worse, right? The market goes right to my targeted area and then explodes and just takes off towards my 75.12 call. Now, the targets were there before the tariffs were announced. The tariffs came out and I came out on a Sunday night because on Friday, CEOs were saying that Trump is going to lower tariff. Trump is going to raise tariffs. He's going to send the market into first a big crash, then we're going to be steeped in a recession. And Morgan Stanley CEO came out and said it. Goldman Sachs, Kramer, the same three guys I'm mentioning again, they all came out and said, because Trump raised tariffs, we're going to not only crash, we're going into a recession. This was on a Friday. I came out on a Sunday before the markets opened with this. Do not get out of stocks. Don't listen. Tariffs will be announced. Please stay calm. We've got a target. Get in when you get to that target. We hit that target and look what we've done since. There is no way that was an accident. There is no way you could have found another human standing out in front of a camera after tariffs was announced calling for the upside, but the Omni. The Omni said we're going to 75.12. When that happened, we were at 48.32. Now, where are we? We're at 69.5, and we got 735-ish more points to go in 5 weeks to reach my Omni level. Will we get there? Absolutely. So that's the question I wanted to answer for you, Omniacs. I wanted to show you what's going on, where we should go, and do not listen to traders out there that just speak, that get on TV. You put on channels and they only talk about nonsense that doesn't come off the chart. If it comes off the chart, I understand it, I believe it, I am part of it, I'll go for it. If it doesn't come off the chart, you know, I'm a religious guy. My kids went to Catholic school. I was an altar boy when I was a child. My daughter sang in the church choir for 15 years. And there's one instance on this planet that I would deny the church. You know what it would be? If Jesus Christ sat down right on this stool right next to me right now, sat next to me, put his leg against mine and went, Oscar, you should go get long the S&P. You know what I would tell him? Jesus, there isn't another arena on this planet. I wouldn't just take your word. But in this arena, you either show it to me on a chart or move on over, buddy, because I don't want to hear your nonsense. I wouldn't listen to anyone's anything but that chart. I don't call Uncle Bill. I don't see what the news is saying. I don't call the CEO of a company. The chart tells me what to tell you, tells me what to trade, and that is what I live on and believe in, and I am a master at this, and I can help you in 1,000 ways, but you'd have to go to livewithoscar.com and register for free and hang out with me in my live trading room. Now, I also do sessions. They're called Omni camps. Those Omni camps, I invite 3, 4 traders, 2, 5 the most, to my home office where we spend 4 full days and nights, and I teach them the Omni method. Then we do this over the weekend. Then on Monday, I have them prove to me in real-time markets that not only did they learn the Omni, but that they can produce the Omni with winning trades on Monday. And I tell them, you're not going home Monday. If you fail to show me winning trades Monday, I will kidnap you and hold you in Vegas through Tuesday, because you don't leave until you show me that the Omni I taught you, you can now make money with. So that's about the only thing I will guarantee you is if you want to come out to one of my Omni camps, OmniBootCamp.com. I'm not here to sell you anything, but if you want to come out to one of my Omni camps, you go to livewithoscar.com, go to my live trading room, get to know me. Maybe you will be invited to my home office where I can teach you how to come up with tomorrow's high, low, where to place the trades, how to get in and out, and if you do lose, how to lose correctly, how to behave like a professional, where to put the stop in, put that stop in first so that you're never exposed. We can teach you all kinds of great things, and it's not going to cost you anything. You just need to go to livewithoscar.com. Be brave enough to hang out with me in my live trading room. See what I'm doing with you right now? This is how I live my life, except for it's not being recorded and it's not Trader's Corner. It's just me being me, and you are all invited to come hang out with me. I can't tell you we're looking at charts 24 hours a day. It should be called Live with Oscar, because we live the markets, we live together in this live trading room with camera and microphone on. Now the camera and microphone only gets broadcast from my end because I don't want to know what you're wearing at 3:30 in the morning. I don't want to see you. You'll know I'll be in my smock, I'll be ready to go. I don't know what you're going to be doing, so we only broadcast out, but you can write to me, I can speak to you. It's a two-way, and it really, really helps the traders around the world. We'd love to have you show up at livewithoscar.com and join that free room. And barring that, let me say this to you, traders, this is my motto, and please use it every day of your lives, because I promise it will help you. And this is what it is. And most of you out there know what I'm going to say right now. Why don't you say it with me? You with me, kids? Come on, Omniacs. You know what's coming out. 1, 2, 3. Stops are in. Emotions are out. And that is the truth, kids. If you put your stops in first, it's so much easier to sit through these trades knowing you've got your insurance premium in place. With that, I'm going to yield my time back to you. I thank you for inviting me, and I hope I've been able to help some of you view the charts and view the markets moving forward.